You're listening to the Lion Heights Podcast.
Welcome back, everybody. You're listening to the Lion Heights Podcast. It's episode number 4.
Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We're all here at the studio at Tall Sky.
Oh, yeah.
We played music for a little bit. Now we're sitting here doing this. So,
well, the first little thing that we talk about is usually the Lion Heights news.
Lion Heights news.
And not much has changed since last week. We're still gearing up for Blank Check to release, but since the Christmas holiday is about to happen and everyone's going out of town, we're not going to do a podcast next week. But it's kind of getting into sleepy mode, right? Like everyone's just putting work aside. So anyway,
but not us.
Yes.
Not Lion Heights.
Nope.
Because we've been in the studio, I guess, over the last week since the last time we were here recording. We've been working on different parts, I should say, of different songs that we have. We work in a, I don't know what you call it, a non-linear fashion when it comes to, working on tunes. We'll work on one for a little bit, maybe move on to another one, have to go back and add
I can't tell you how many
guitars.
times we've redone a song's drums.
Yeah. So I know there's probably people out there that, are musicians that when they're working on a song, they start the song and they won't move on to something else until they finish it. But we don't work that way. So let's see. Well, Dane is the engineer here, and he knows what was going down. So what was being worked on over the past week?
So you came over first, Tom, right?
Yeah.
We did Tell Them.
Tell Them.
Yeah, so it was a new tune, trying to put together this new record. And man, this song is going to be awesome. So I think we got the drums down pretty nice. And then the next day, James came over and we did Step Forward and Better Weather. Also, Better Weather was the song I put at the end of the last podcast.
Yeah, if you check that out, if you made it to the end, that was a little sneak peek. That was us playing it live.
That was just rehearsal, yeah.
Right.
So, because I record all the rehearsals in order we can review them and then, give you guys something special. But that was fun, James.
It was fun.
We had to figure out those delay settings.
We did.
James, so is recording something that you like to do, or is it like, do you enjoy sitting there and having it? Because I know some people it can get kind of tedious.
I like to do it with other people, working in a team environment. I don't really like to do it by myself.
Does it
Like
seem
what we
more?
did?
I'd rather walk into a room with people and be like, "Hey, this is what we're gonna do," and then do it.
Do you feel like that gives you a better sense of the musicality and stuff like that, playing with other people rather than having to overdub stuff?
Or think about, I think they might want this, but you're not really sure.
Yeah,
if you're
but
by yourself, I mean.
In this case, it was like your voice though. For Lion Heights, it's like whatever you want. I mean, it's one of the songs was my songs and one of the songs was yours. So I'm more specific. Well, both those songs are very specific in the guitar parts. So I guess we are kind of telling you what we want.
Yeah, and for the listeners, we when we're working on a new song and there's usually a demo version of it that either someone has made to kind of show the rest of the group, this is my idea, this is what we're trying to do. So sometimes those already have ideas in there.
Yeah.
Sometimes they don't.
You can elaborate on those ideas though.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. Most of the time, I think in our songwriting style, you and I create most of the parts before we show the band.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like when you write a song, you'll show a pretty complete demo to us and we just learn the parts. That's what it's kind of been. Like only a few times do we really collab and make a song together. True. Where everybody makes their own parts. But I mean, in the end, we do put our flavors on it for sure.
Yeah.
Everybody changes it. But it's cool. I honestly like that because then the vision, I'm getting your vision at one time. And it's not like having to be molded over time.
Yeah. I mean, that's always good. And there's always the part, too, where you got to check the ego at the door. And maybe you wanted this part to really be in there. But maybe everybody else in the room's kind of like, I don't know about this. We like it, but I don't think we like it as much as you do.
I mean, we changed Better Weather quite a bit.
Yeah. And sometimes that's what happens, too. I mean, and Reggae on the Rise, we talked about that, I believe, on our first episode.
That one changed a lot.
But, yeah, so what do you think of, Tom? What's your ideal recording situation? Because a lot of times you're playing drums kind of by yourself to things that we have already previously recorded.
Yeah.
What do you think is better, doing it that way or kind of doing it as a live band and trying to get the most out of the the live energy in the room?
I think there's something that, for me personally, there's something that goes in with having the live energy. I have this conflicted relationship with recording because I feel a little bit more uptight or nervous in the studio. But there's no reason for that because with the advances in modern technology, if you screw up, you can just go back and fix it, right? You can do a number of
But we
takes.
don't do that, right, Tom?
It's all just the first time.
Yeah, I don't
through.
like doing that either, man. I gotta take a take all the way through. Like, it's taken till now for me to be like, all right, let's do it piece by piece. Because normally, I don't know, it sounds like I'm the same with you in that, where like, no, I want a whole take. Even when I'm doing a drum thing.
I
it's like,
started piece
you want
by
to punch
piece.
in? I'm like, nah.
Yeah, we haven't.
But we
I
don't
feel
do
like-
that.
no, we don't.
We don't punch in.
There's probably certain types of music that lends themselves like to that kind of approach, like compartmentalizing things and then saying, okay, let's go bit by bit, make sure that it's good until we move on.
I've been really digging how we work together, Tom. The doing multiple takes. I mean, me and you do the same thing.
Right.
Multiple takes, and then listening to like the best vibe of our favorite take.
Yeah.
And then analyzing. It's mostly just little fills that we end up swapping out, and we can just check the other takes if they have better fills. But I think you've been nailing it on the overall rhythm, so we're not really having to go in and adjust kicks and snares and timing.
Yeah.
That's like part of the pocket that we're recording.
Yeah, so that's where it's nice to have, even if it's just you and I, Dane, recording.
And are you
You're
recording?
still-
You're
still-
recording bass tracks at the same time.
Sometimes, yeah.
Gotcha.
Because a lot of these new tunes, I'm still working out the bass line, so it's good to play together. But on the ones, that are already more solid, just run the recording.
Yeah.
But
So that's been cool, to kind of get some work in on these songs. Tell Them is a newer one, newish. Better Weather is pretty old. That one was written in Chicago. So anytime if a song came from there, it's been
it's part of the story.
yeah, it's been there for a while. But it's exciting to get some more headway on these tunes so we can get them out for y'all to hear.
I was going through some old folders in the computer, and I saw a folder called Reggae on the Rise album, and it was actually same situation. It was like most of the tracks, I guess at one point we had called it Reggae on the Rise, and Reggae on the Rise is going to be on the previous record. It's just funny how like
that was something I was putting all those beats or rhythms, whatever you
together.
come together, and I had them compiled in a folder called Reggae on the Rise.
And it didn't end up doing that.
It had different artwork too,
Yeah.
which is funny.
Yeah.
And besides us being in here, working on music, throughout kind of this whole, I don't want to call it quarantine because we haven't been, quarantining ourselves. Throughout this pandemic time, I should say, we've had the pleasure of having different artists and bands come in here to where Dane and I will do some production on their work, and it has nothing to do with Lion Heights music.
Honestly, it's distracted us a lot from our own album. I feel like I've finished like 2 other records before I've even really dug into this record.
We're just keeping everyone in suspense. That's all.
Yeah, no, it's good though because I learned a lot and it was really fun, and I love collabing with people. It's really nice. So we had Dem come through, we had Judah Von Roots come through, and then we've been working with a few other artists like Micah Shalom has come through and tracked, and we're still doing some releases. Sean Austin came through, and
we had Firestar in here to voice his track.
part of Blank Check. So it's been a good thing. And then our newest little client,
I was gonna say,
Sophie Hard.
Sophie Hard.
Yeah, she's got a really cool tune. We just tracked it yesterday, and it was nice because she just came in with a song and basically the chords, a little demo of the full song she wrote out, and then we just added our keyboard and bass, made like a play-along track, and then Jeremy jumped on the drums and we played drum and bass again, and we just stacked up the song and built it up like that, and came out pretty good. So if you're an artist out there that you've been looking for a band, don't waste your time. There's one right here, and we'll get you in the studio, make your vision come to life.
Yeah, and it's pretty fun. We like doing it too, and it's cool to have music released that's not necessarily under your name, but that you still kind of had some part in creating.
I love the production aspect, especially when it's not my music. So
Yeah.
I can just be more objective with it and just I feel like I can be a little bit more freer with my bass lines. And when it's my song, I'm like, man, I got to play this live. I got to sing it at the same time. You know what I mean? It's just more pressure.
Yeah.
So,
Well, since we're talking about, making music at Tall Sky, I think we're going to do this in a different order, but I think this is a great segue to chat about some music that we've been listening to. And Micah Shalom got a new song that is has been out for a week or so, maybe.
Yeah, maybe 2 weeks.
And maybe Micah's a cool guy to bring in, and we can chat with him at some point on the podcast.
Definitely, yeah.
But Micah just released a new tune that was recorded and mixed
here
at Tall Sky by
But it's
Dane.
funny because it was a while ago that we did the recording. It just took a minute
When we tracked it.
It was like a few years ago. And I tracked it all on my Studio Master console, which I don't even really use that much anymore because I have better mic pre's now. So it's just funny to hear. I'm like, oh, that's my OG Tall Sky sound. You know what I mean? I feel like I've come a long way. But yeah, the song just came out and it's pretty dope. This
one's for all my East Coast people.
Let's show
You know
the
what I'm
people.
saying?
Yeah.
Pretty much the three of us over here, except for Dane. Dane's from Texas.
I'm the Texas guy.
We some Yankees.
So yeah, this one is called Baltimore Ska. Check it out. And we didn't mention Jeremy's playing drums.
That's true.
Yeah.
Definitely a horn heavy, throwback. I don't know how much y'all know about ska out there, but
Yeah, I love the horns, man. And I love instrumental tunes.
right.
I don't see enough people doing instrumentals.
Yeah, so that's a little bit of Baltimore Ska by Micah Shalom. I believe you can find it anywhere you listen to music, and we're gonna have it on. We just started doing a playlist on Spotify of all the music that we play in the show, so you can check it out because we only play a little clip of it. We don't want to give the whole thing away.
And we want you guys to support the artists
Exactly.
on Spotify and Apple Music because really when you add it to your own playlists, it helps us out a lot. It helps our numbers. We get those little fractions of a penny. Adds up over time. And if you really want to help somebody out, when you go to sleep, put their song on repeat and just press play and, turn the sound off. And just
Does
play.
that work though?
Yeah. Well, maybe they might have changed something, but I know that one band, I can't remember what they were called, but they made an album called like The Sounds of Sleep, and it was all silence, and the whole album would just play, and they funded a tour by having their fans do that. So, if you really wanted to support your favorite
Playing
band,
nothing. There was
Kinda cool.
nothing on the.
well, I think it'd be cool, not to say like go to our page and do that solely to us, but we're putting together this playlist of some artists that if you want to support them, then yeah, do that.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So yeah, man, we're out here. We all need some help, and you're already paying for Spotify and Apple Music. It ain't no extra shellings out for you.
True. So, James, you got some new music, right?
I sure do.
What you got? Want to talk about it?
Well, new and old.
New and
Really?
old at the same time.
Really. So there's a song called Quiet Village, who I thought was by this guitar player who's a virtuoso named Danny Gatton, R.I.P. And he's known in a bunch of circles as being an awesome guitar player, blah, blah, blah. And so anyway, I heard this song, and I thought that, I just heard it when I was a kid, and I loved it. So play the song.
All right, incoming.
So this is the original song that you heard as a kid.
Yeah, and it has a lot of cool guitar licks after the melody and everything.
Okay. It's got kind of a tropical thing going on.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, it's cool.
So is he trying to sound like a pedal steel kind of thing? 'Cause it sounds like reminiscent of, kind of the Hawaiian stuff.
Yeah, I guess maybe.
Yeah, it has
plays a lot of country stuff.
has a surf rock vibe.
Yeah,
almost.
surfy. Okay, so why did this pop back on your radar recently? Because you said this is the version that you heard as a kid or something like that. You liked it.
Right, and I thought it was the only version.
Okay.
And then one day, this week, I was driving and listening to the radio, and this other version came on, which I didn't even know existed. Apparently, that one's the original.
Ah.
So it's one of those things where it just kind of like blew your mind. You're like, huh? So this is the original by Martin Denny.
I've heard this before.
You have?
Yeah. I started listening to this like Exotica playlist, and it's a lot of stuff like this.
This says Exotica.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's pretty cool.
Honestly, a genre I had no clue about, but it's really cool.
Exotica is a genre.
Yeah. It's like this.
That's a whole conversation right there. I don't know
That's
about
kind
that
of.
either.
I dig it.
It sounds X-rated, but it. Yeah.
This is more of a Quiet Village
Yeah.
sound than the original or the other one.
That's dope, man. I really dig that.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, I need to send y'all a playlist because I was listening to this. It's funny that you bring it up. It sounds, feels like it's not that far away, but during the summer, I stumbled on a playlist with some of this stuff, and I was listening to it all the time. And it's a lot of this kind of loungy, tropical, exotic stuff. I don't know, but it's cool. And like those are people making those animal noises, which is cool too.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It
Yeah,
seems
there's
to be
a
like
live-
a common theme in.
There's
In
a live
Exotica?
video on YouTube of them doing it.
Yeah, it's cool. I dig it.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
Right on. Quiet
Yeah.
Village.
Quiet Village. Danny Gatton, Martin Denny.
What you got, Tom?
So I have a track from Pato Banton. This is another old tune. It's called "Give Me Oil," and it's on Engine 54 rhythm. And this is one of those rhythms where I've thought I heard all the versions, right? And then suddenly something pops up on YouTube, and you're like, "Damn, I didn't know about that." There's more. There's just so much out there that
So
that we
what?
don't
The
know.
versions of him singing this song?
No, just the versions of this rhythm in particular.
Oh, the
Okay.
rhythm.
Because this
Yeah.
rhythm is well, the original is super old. An
Yeah.
old tune called Engine 54.
Yep.
But I guess did somebody redid it?
Yeah, there's a couple versions of
Okay.
like Glenn Washington
Was
has a
Bill
version
talking
on
about
it.
this rhythm last night?
I'm not sure. No, that was different. That was station something else.
Oh, okay. But anyway, incoming. Check this one out.
Well, each and every day, I gotta keep on moving. So, Jah, give me oil in my lamp, keep it burning. Jah, give me little oil in my lamp, keep it burning. Jah, give me little oil in my lamp, keep it burning. Jah, give me little oil in my lamp, keep it burning. Jah, give me little oil in my lamp, keep it burning. It's to Jah and only Jah who I man is praying. So all conscious people, I hope you are listening. Not just listening with your ears, but with your mind meditating. And vibing to the words that Pato Bantan is preaching. A foolish man will tell you culture lyrics is boring. I will leave the panko speechless when I ask him we are dealing. Like salt in a water, his brain will be dissolving. Smoke will come out of him ears like an old rundown engine. Like a man struck by lightning, he'll wonder what hit him. I'll cramp and paralyze him, and then I will leave him. It no matter if him yellow, black, white, brown, pink or green skin. Whoever fight against Jah surely deserves a beating. So give
Who
me
has
little
green
animal
skin?
lamp, keep
The
it
Grinch
burning.
does.
Jah give me little animal lamp,
George
keep
Washington.
it burning.
Shrek?
Just give me little animal lamp, keep it burning. Just give me little animal lamp,
Oil in my
keep
lamp.
it burning. Well, the devil is a crook, don't be his next victim. He'll break into your brain and check what you're thinking. If you're dreaming of gold, then gold you'll be wearing. If you're wishing for money, then money you'll be spending. If you're hoping for fun, then fun you'll be having. But remember, all good things must come to an ending. Adam and Eve in the garden, it came to a sinning. Love between Cain and Abel, it came to a killing. Many good times I've had to come to an ending. But let me carry on with what I was saying. Every time that you sin, the devil is laughing. Every wrong move you make brings you nearer towards him. You've got your chance
I had
while
to
you
lay.
are still living.
Yeah, gotta
To
love
choose
that.
a life of goodness or a life full of sinning. So when Satan says come to the fiery dungeon, it's only a wicked man's soul that boy will be taking. Just give me look at my lamp, keep it burning. Just give me
Yeah. Big tune. Man, I love Pato Banton. He's such a cool guy. You know, he passed through the studio.
That's right.
Yeah, Pato, when he came and did Flamingo, he stayed here. And Ras G came through with a rhythm, and we tracked Pato on it. And
Did you get some dub plates?
man, I don't think I got a drop, but I didn't get a dub plate. I wish I really had done that at the time. But man, he's just so cool, such a nice guy. He helped me set up my drying, like I had making a line to dry clothes in the backyard. And he saw me struggling, and he came out. And he was like, "Yo, you should do it like this," and help me.
Nice.
Yeah, it's cool. But yeah, big up Pato Bantan. Look like Mad Professor mixed that one.
Yeah.
I love the English, the London kind of reggae vibes. They got a whole sound.
It's
you
a
know?
whole different thing, man.
Yeah. Speaking of that whole thing, the small acts movies.
Here we go
Bring it up
again.
every time. The last one finally.
I'm in the same position that I was last time.
No one.
I'm just waiting for them all to come out, and then
They're out.
I'm gonna binge watch
Yeah,
them
they're
all.
all out. So you
It's the easiest way.
So now
you should have been.
I got
done.
Christmas. Yeah, no, over Christmas
I'm gonna
break.
watch
I
5
guess
hours of small.
Christmas
acts.
break sounds like you're like a little kid, but over Christmas break, I'm gonna watch them.
It's a break. It's a
Yeah.
break from life in a way.
Yeah.
Um.
What you got on some new music, Dane?
All right.
New to you or
So-
newly released?
So yeah, some brethren, Houston reggae brethren, band called So Below out of Houston.
Okay.
Yeah, they put out a song last Friday, Honor the Herb. And so I just want to shine a light for them and let some people know that
Definitely.
check them out. So let's play this one.
You make a lot of money out of your music? Money. I mean, how much is a lot for money? Yeah, that's a good question. Have you made, say, millions of dollars? No.
This is cool.
Yeah.
It's dreamy.
It is.
I like it.
Yes, I feel it in my bones. A feeling that I won't ignore. The music that I love, it always lifts me off the floor. No matter where I go,
didn't see that coming.
All right.
I did, but I was waiting to. I was wanted y'all to hear that.
Yeah, and then I'm fading it out because you got to listen to the song. It goes into a whole nother part, which is pretty cool. It's like 2 songs in one almost. But
I dig that.
yeah. So big up.
So that just came out recently.
Right.
Like, yeah.
Last week. So if you can, people,
Cool.
support the artist. Go stream that
And I've seen
song.
they're playing too. I've seen them playing around a little
Yeah,
bit.
they'll
You
be
know,
on
during
tour.
this year.
People are starting to come out and do more stuff now.
Yeah.
I mean, even us, we're taking more gigs now. So I think if you're feeling comfortable and you want to come out, like we're out here trying to do it, you know.
For sure.
So yeah, respect. So Below, Honor the Herb.
Check it out.
What you got, man? I think we got another.
Yeah.
Cool song.
So the cool thing is I also have a local artist or band.
Local to Texas.
Local to Texas. Yeah, these are some people from San Antonio. They're called Kaya Coutura. Coutura.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how to say that exactly.
Tom.
Kaya Coutura. It's not Spanish. But yeah,
So this one is called Vibes.
yeah, this is a tune that I believe is also pretty new. I know that I've seen them, posting about it, and there's something really, really cool I want you guys to hear in this tune. But we'll play it for a little bit, and I'm gonna try to get you to skip ahead to a time mark because I want to show you this.
Okay. All
This
right.
also features For Peace Band,
Oh, really?
which if you remember those
Yeah,
guys,
yeah.
I don't know if it's all of them or if it's some vocalists. The vocalist from there, like I think might sing on it. I think that's what it is.
Okay.
But if you remember those guys, when
Yeah,
we
yeah.
were back in Josh Heine.
Yeah, we watched the.
We watched their video. Tom wasn't here yet, so he doesn't know what we're talking about.
Yeah.
But we watched their video backing him to figure out some
I
stuff.
do remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's featuring, I think, some singers from that band.
All
Check it
right.
out. Vibes.
Yeah, man, check this.
Said I distinct activity in today's society. Eastern refugees, police brutality, suppression of our herbs, suppression of our words, suppression of the people's salvation they deserve. Owners of the news control reality. Bankers banking on a big monstrosity. Movement creating mass conspiracy. Free your minds from slavery. No. What's gonna bring upon the vibes that we want, yes? Who's gonna bring upon the vibes that we need? Yeah. Who's gonna educate the youth about this system? Who's gonna leave them a life legacy?
All right. So fade this real quick. So that's pretty. You know how the song is. It's it's groovy. I like the bass.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
like the
quality
synth.
is good.
I like the synth.
Okay, so I was listening to this today, and I'll tell you why I was listening to it in a little bit. But this part that comes up just had me straight stank face, dude. I'm excited to see what y'all think about this because I heard it and I was like, ugh,
what's the
oh
time?
my god, in like the best way. Let's give it to like 325, and just take it to the end. Y'all got to hear this, but make sure you go back and check out the rest of the song because we did skip through some of it.
Who's gonna leave them a life legacy? Reggae music lead the way now.
You know, Lion Heist loves this shit.
Nice. Nice. Yeah.
piece.
That was dope.
I don't know, man. I hope this is my brethren Storm. I know he plays guitar and sings. If that's him ripping like that, my gosh. I'm not sure who's playing guitar, so
Yeah, that's cool.
maybe I'll ask after this and see. But
Yeah. Very cool.
that
very
was
cool.
wicked to me
Yeah.
when I
Yeah,
heard
yeah.
that coming. I mean, the song was great alone, but when they go into that, man, I'm a sucker for that.
I know. I liked like the metal, cheesy rock guitar type of.
Yeah, and
I
then they
love
took
that
it to
stuff.
the whole jazz aspect
Jazzy.
and was
And then the jazziness.
putting a lot of cool jazz, licks on there. Man,
some mellow vibes. It was cool.
yeah, definitely cool. So that's Kaya Kotura. The song's called Vibes. Go check it out. Y'all get that. Okay, so yeah, some cool music. And I wanted to play that today because the reason why I was checking that out was because I put a poll out on Instagram, I don't know, a couple days ago, whatever, asking people, because, we can just talk about whatever we want to talk about, but I want to see if there's people out there listening that want to hear
Yeah.
us talk about something specific.
For sure.
And Storm, the dude from that band that we were just playing, Kaya Kotura, like I said, plays guitar, sings. He was the only one to answer it.
Boom.
Wah, 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 wah. But what he said was he wanted to. I said, "What do you want to hear us talk about?" And he said,
You
musical-
didn't have to tell the people that he was the
I'm
only
just being
one.
honest.
Nobody else would have noticed that
I'm being
shit.
honest, but that's why I want to talk
And now,
about it.
10
'cause-
years from now,
Hey,
that's going to be...
I don't care. It's true. It's true.
Nah, I'm just playing.
But y'all can do that. And maybe this will be a thing. Another thing that I'll do is I'll keep asking y'all every week through Instagram, maybe through
Yeah.
Facebook or something. And like we always say, you can always email us at lionheightslive@gmail.com
Pose a question.
or tell us something or said, hey, that what you said in your podcast wasn't right. Be like,
Yeah, if we're... Yeah. Sure. Let us know,
fact
man.
check.
It's just us in this room. We can't
Yeah.
say that we are
So
the
good.
experts,
For
of
sure.
anything.
But yeah, so I wanted to maybe bring that to y'all, if that's something that we want to talk about, kind of like for people that are maybe finding out about us through here, or people who have known about us as a band or know us personally, but
What
want
our
to kind of know,
influences are.
where we come from musically and who are like some of our influences.
Okay.
I don't know if anybody has a specific wants to kick it off or is feeling the spirit.
Let's go with James.
Oh man, where do you even begin?
Well, so you posted on Facebook a couple days ago a picture that's you
That was yesterday.
yesterday.
Yeah. Playing.
What's that picture about? Because I feel like this has something to do with
Yeah.
this subject.
That was a me on stage with a band called Charlie Love and the Silky Smooth Band at Kingston Mines in Chicago.
And
which
how
is
old
where-
were you?
18, probably. I'm guessing.
Gotcha.
What's 12? I'm 31.
Yeah.
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 But you're not old enough to go in the bar because you weren't 21.
No, that was the Sunday Blues Jam. But it wasn't an official blues jam. They just said come on Sunday and play. So
Yeah.
I was there Saturday night. And so I went over there. And the guy, BJ, who's the drummer,
You got a guitar with you, or
I had one.
You just coming in there.
No, I had a guitar with me, but when they call you up there, it was just like in the middle of their set. So I'm not gonna I didn't take it. I don't know. I was 18. I didn't take my guitar
man.
with me. So then,
Jump on.
yeah. So I went up there and then I used their guitar and I did really bad.
That's not what I thought you were
I didn't think that was
say.
going to happen either. And I kind of already knew about this. I didn't.
Why? Why was it bad?
What was so bad about it?
Because I think that's the first time I was ever on stage ever.
Oh.
I mean, other than
So they're like, they
A
kick you
talent
a
show.
solo, and you're like, what is that?
Guitar Hero.
Yeah.
there's more nervousness.
Yeah.
But then I kept coming back every day, and
Understandable.
they kept putting me up there. And hey,
That's how you do it, man.
now I'm not nervous.
That's how you do it.
Did you have to wiggle your way in there? You being.
Security guard let me in.
So he let you in. You kind of explained what was going on. Hey, I'm not trying to, do this and that. I just want to come play.
Actually, I was listening through the wall, and he heard me, or was watching me all night. And he's like, "Hey, you want to go inside?" And I was like, "Yes." And so he brought me inside, and he just said, "Don't go by the bar." And then later, he introduced me to the other guys, and they told me BJ told me to come the next night, and I did.
That's
and
dope. Man,
yeah.
if it wasn't
It's
for
very
you,
intimidating.
I would have never went in there.
Me neither.
And I thought that club was one of the coolest clubs in Chicago, just because of the double stage
Yeah.
thing. And there was 2 rooms, so when one band ended, the next room would start. and they would just vary bands all night. So there'd be like 6 bands the
That'd
whole
be
night.
2 bands.
Oh, 2
They just
bands.
take a break. Hour set. Hour set.
My bad.
See, because Tom doesn't know this either. Because when Line Heights goes back to Chicago, we go to try to check out that place. At least James and I did last time. But yeah, so when we are able to go out there, we'll show you. It's really cool.
And now that club is 1 block away from the Wild Hair, which is the reggae club. So if you're gonna go, you can go down. What's the name of the street again?
Halstead.
Halstead. They're both on Halstead. Fullerton stop. Red line.
Right past the McDonald's.
Yeah. So that's cool.
So blues was a thing of yours that you liked from a long time, or like is that something that you would credit to your influences as a musician?
Yeah, definitely. But I think it started with Ozzy Osbourne, maybe.
Oh yeah.
I think
right.
so because
Ozzy.
Diary of a Madman.
no, I bought a compilation album called the Osmond Cometh. I don't know how you. Anyway, so there's all his big hits, and I was really into that when I was like 14. And then I started getting some Led Zeppelin stuff, and then I remember asking my dad where to go from there, and he said, "Oh, check out some blues stuff." So we went all the way to the bottom of the blues recordings, and worked my way up the modern.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And then
Like Robert Johnson or
yeah, and like Muddy Waters and
That's what I was gonna say.
Blind Lemon Jefferson and all that stuff. And worked my way up, and then went back and forth between rock, and then somehow reggae got involved when I was like 16, 17, and started experimenting. You know what I mean? And
Tell everybody what your AIM name was.
oh yeah, it was. If it's still, I wonder if I can log into this anymore.
I just
It's,
laughed. Right
Yo,
now.
actually, someone might have hacked your name and stole it just because of what it is.
Well, it's Rastafarian 944.
Oh, never mind. Not 944. If it was just Rastafarian somebody. But I think that's real funny that James, as a 16-year-old, took it upon himself to name himself Rastafarian.
But that came from middle school. So before
Wow.
16. That was like, I think I was in 7th grade or 6th grade.
Yeah,
when I
well,
made that.
it shows some interest, you know what I mean? It's
Conscious
good to...
man.
He's seeking
It
the
was
truth.
always there.
Seeking the truth. Yeah. That's cool. Very nice.
Oh, yeah.
I think it was about that same time when I started getting into Rastafari, though, and through Burning Spear and Peter Tosh, eventually Bob Marley started to really affect me.
Was that something that you were? I mean, obviously not always, but was that something that you consciously wanted to include in your music? When you were growing up and playing, in your high school bands and stuff.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Was that something that you kind of already knew about and knew that you wanted to sing about that, or was that something that you kind of figured out later along the line?
I mean, I think a lot over the years we're always trying to find our voice, right? I'm still not sure if I even know my own voice or no, but back in high school when I was playing in a reggae band, we had the singer King Shanti, and his lyrical content aligned with my ideas and what I wanted through the music. He sang a lot about Selassie and Marcus Garvey. We sang a lot about stuff the foundations of Rastafari, and I learned a lot from him. He taught me so much. And that was a time when I was very impressionable, and I was just getting into really diving into reggae music, because it was kind of through bass guitar, starting to play bass guitar, and coming out of punk rock and out Bad Brains was the first thing, and then coming out of that, getting into Burning Spear, it opened myself up to the whole Rasta vibe.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you have any specific influences that you cite? Maybe when it comes to playing bass specifically, or or even with your vocal, stuff that you do, singing or chatting,
yeah, definitely.
or influences even with your songwriting. I mean, what are some of the people that you kind of look to for guidance when it comes to that?
Oh, I think for bass guitar, it was maybe Robbie Shakespeare is more my vibe. I like Family Man a lot too, and what I've learned from learning Bob Marley bass lines, but I don't think that that's really the style that I put off. I'm not sure I really play like him.
Right.
I'm more like how Robbie will stay on the one and pedal.
Yeah.
And while the chords change and stuff like that, I really dig that style. And, I play the Steinberger. Me and James play the Steinberger. And we like that 80s vibes. you know, a lot of cool songs came out. The Taxi Gang production
For
vibe.
sure. Epic.
So that's kind
catalog.
of where I sit in the bass world. And that's because I started playing bass first. I started listening to older stuff. But as I came around to wanting to write lyrics and sing a little bit, I was very heavy into Sizzla and Capleton and Buju Banton and Anthony B. And you know, Anthony B's first album was probably made a big indention on me. You know, So Many Things, I think is the name. I can't remember. It came out in 1994, but so that's why like when I write music, like those are the voices I hear in my head. You know,
Right.
those are the singing styles that I like, but that's not necessarily the direction I'm always trying to take when it actually comes out or like when the song gets written. But like that's just kind of like where my influence is.
Maybe a starting point or something.
Yeah, like a starting point. Like those artists were really heavy when I was getting into the music. You know, Wayne, around that, you know, late 2007, 2010 time. And then came Chronix and Protege and Kabaka. Like I really like Kabaka Pyramid. He's my artist that I rate out of that reggae revival. So
Yeah.
he's an influence still, but more so the guys before, you know.
Yeah, I mean, that's the whole thing, too. I mean, I wanted to move over to Tom, you know, the other side of the drum and bass. Maybe some of, you know, wondering if you were kind of always in, because everybody has this time, like this time when you're a kid. I don't, you know, how old, where you kind of get to start choosing what you want to listen to. Kind of before that, at least in my life, it was kind of like you'd listen to kind of whatever music your parents, you know, would listen to, or you listen to whatever CDs they get you, and at least that's how it was with me. But then there comes this time where you kind of start to find your own music that you're
bro.
interested in. You know?
TRL.
So when it comes to reggae music, was that something that you got into right away? Or was it something that you kind of found you and you're kind of like, this is cool, I never heard this. I'm kind of like, you know.
Well, all right. So I come from. My story is similar to Dane's in that I was big into punk and especially big into hardcore punk.
Yeah.
And so Bad Brains was one of my favorite bands growing up.
Yeah.
But I hated the reggae tracks. I skipped. I wouldn't want anything to do with the reggae tracks. I'm like, man, I just want a minute and a half
great.
of full throttle hardcore. And
I felt
don't
the same way at first.
At first. All right. So at first, right?
This is hilarious.
And then there was some, but I didn't listen to hardcore because I liked the drumming. In fact, I thought the musicianship was like awful. But you get the edit, with the exception of Bad Brains.
Bad Brains is tight.
They're a tight band, right?
Yeah.
And then I came across this band called the Suicide Machines, and they're like a hardcore ska band.
Yep.
But the drummer is really good. The drummer plays hardcore ska almost with like a funk feel.
Okay.
And he's got chops. So I was like, man, this is really good, you know. And that initially made an impression on me about, you know, how to approach playing faster styles of music. That's what I started playing in high school was hardcore and ska and punk and stuff. Mm-hmm. And then things started to slow down. I started to experiment, as James said, and I started to appreciate those reggae tracks that I had heard on Bad Brains.
Mm-hmm.
You
And
hear them in a different way.
Yeah, hear them in a different way. I started like appreciating reggae music on its own terms, knowing how to listen to reggae music, right? Because it takes a different type of ear.
Yeah.
So alongside that, as I started to get more and more into reggae, I joined when I was in college. I got big into funk and like DC go-go music and Questlove, like a lot of the instrumental hip hop that was going on in Philly, and started to incorporate more and more of that into my own playing. And then when I got into reggae, eventually, I kind of made a conscious decision to try to fuse those styles, not to approach it in a strictly like textbook roots reggae fashion, you know. So since then, everything that I've listened to, neo soul, all that, like Chris Dave, drummers like Calvin Rogers, those guys, I can't play like them, but I like some of the stuff that they do, and some of it I try to bring some of that into the
What
into
you
the,
do.
yeah, and what I do for reggae.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was a tortured trajectory, but eventually I got to reggae.
Yeah,
And
man.
that's it.
Yeah.
I
Man.
love the Suicide Machines too, man. this is gonna sound so bad, but I didn't really care for Bob Marley. Kind of like when I first started hearing that, I liked reggae music, but it was kind of like I try to describe this to people. Like I didn't like the Beatles for a long time because all I thought that the Beatles was like Here Comes the Sun, Yellow Submarine.
All the mainstream stuff.
Yeah, all the mainstream.
And same thing with Bob and Legend.
Like, Let It Be, all that stuff. And I would just hear it on the radio all the time. And, as a kid, and I was like, I am over this, man.
Yeah,
like, I do not care for this music. It wasn't until I had a buddy show me some other, Beatles music.
Rubber Soul.
One of them being like, She's So Heavy. I heard that. I was like, this is the Beatles? He was like, yeah. I was like, I've never heard anything like
That's
this
a
before.
crazy song.
I
She's
know.
So
And
Heavy.
I was like,
Yeah.
they do this? I was like, yeah. And that kind of opened my...
Third eye.
It made me want to go check out other, Beatles songs. It made me think, oh, I think I'm missing something. Something. The same thing with Bob Marley music.
Yeah.
All those radio hits, they're cool. And they even get to a point where it's like, man, I want something else. And Sly and Robbie was cool.
Mm-hmm.
When I first heard that, I was like, this is different.
Mm-hmm.
And then it got even, better to me when I heard the Roots Radix.
Mm-hmm.
All that stuff is so, I don't know, beneficial to me as a keyboard player and as a drummer, I feel like.
Yeah,
Because
Roots Radix. I
it's
failed
like-
to mention that, but that was key.
I say this to people when they ask me that Gregory Isaacs' Night Nurse album is like such a great album to learn reggae music from, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because you can do it from Bob Marley. I'm not saying you can't learn it from Bob Marley. That's kind of a different era of music, I feel
Yeah.
like. And there's a lot more going on. Like, there's a lot.
It's a
I would
big
say
band.
there's more production on the records, Like we know that Catch a Fire was done in Jamaica, and then, in England they added all these extra strings and all
Yep.
this other stuff. But Roots Radix are so good at just doing I feel like they don't overdub anything. I feel like it's just everybody in the room and they're all listening to each other, and then that's the record.
I mean, they must overdub some stuff.
I mean, yeah, but I
the
don't mean
vibe
they're not
get,
adding all this
doesn't
extra
sound
stuff
very
all the time. Yeah.
big and produced. It sounds like raw.
So that to me kind of clicked a switch in my head when it came to reggae rules. You know what I mean? Like what to do, where, kind of the nuances of the genre,
Yeah.
which you want to understand when you're trying to play something. And I feel like when we first started playing, I didn't really understand that.
Mm.
But there's songs you listen to and bands you listen to that kind of open that for you.
Definitely.
Another one was the Yellow Man
I was about to say
live
Yellow
at
Man.
Reggae Sunsplash. And it's like, that was a lesson in what to do live.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're
Mixing.
what
and
we
in
call
and out.
mixing, which is, like bringing in just the rhythm, just the dub wise, all this stuff. And they're doing it on the fly. Because for the longest time, I feel like when we were playing music, we're like, do they pick where these go, like, ahead of time?
I mean,
Or,
I
like,
think for artists like that, with their backing band, they must have a pattern of
Sure.
how the song goes. But Yellow Man might not do the song exactly
Yeah,
the same.
Exactly.
But you got to use your ears to know where you are in the timeline of the song. So in that regard, yeah, you're on the fly.
Yeah.
But during the chorus, I want to emphasize this part, and I'm gonna do these hits or whatever.
And to hear like the live album, and as somebody who was as a frontman of a band, or not, I don't know, I'd say it frontman.
You're the front
Yeah,
man.
frontman,
You're the front man.
I just hate that word so much, man. I hate the stigma
Whatever.
behind it. But Yellow Man is telling them what he wants to do, what he wants
Yeah.
them to do underneath what he's about to sing, and kind of taking that direction. And I think it's really cool. I do it from time to time. Dane will do it from time to time, and even like in Chicago we would do this, but we're starting to do it more where other members of the band will cause something. If we're playing a song, Tom could yell out like "Rhythm" and just stop playing. If you just stop playing, you just change the song right there. Like, it's cool how we can the fluidity of the reggae music and also kind of the improvisation. I don't know.
But anyway,
yeah.
speaking
So,
of Yellow Man, that quick little Yellow Man, I was trying to bring it back around somehow.
we're playing a Yellow Man Christmas song, and I think Dane is hinting that he might tack it on the end of this episode.
I'm gonna give you a little taste of it,
Yeah.
and then around Christmas time we'll give you the video. But
Because I think we're gonna skip. Either we can skip one, or maybe we can try to do some weird,
call in
call in one. We can try. I don't know, because we're all going our separate ways.
for Christmas.
When we're recording right now, it's a week away. You guys are gonna hear this in a couple days, but it's a week away from Christmas. So If you don't hear from us, we'll be back soon. And thank you for tuning in as always.
And Happy New Year. We'll see you next year.
Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy New Year. We'll see you all in 2021.
Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. You're drinking cola or you're drinking beer. You're eating bula or a piece of pear. You ready? Mamacita, donde tu Santa Claus? Tell me where is Santa Claus? This your Christmas day. Repeat again, tell it to them, mamacita. Donde tu Santa Claus? Tell me where is Santa Claus? This a Christmas day. Repeat hey! Christmas is coming and the girls big and fat. Put $100 in the old man hat. If a girl want a pants, if a girl want a frock, check up Dangerous and she get the cash. This is culture, hitting a slack. Look on me head, me hat it black. 125 gal know that I'm mamacita. Donde tu Santa Claus? Tell me where is Santa Claus? This a Christmas day. Repeat again, tell it to them, mamacita. Donde tu Santa Claus? Tell me where is Santa Claus? This your Christmas day. The boys. Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. People here and everywhere. But check out Yellow Man, them have a nice up the square. And this is Dangerous and I go nice up the square. Me say drinking sorrow like you're drinking beer. Having a party and I hope you are the mamacita. Tell me where is Santa Claus? Donde tu Santa Claus? This your Christmas day. Repeat again, tell it to you, mamacita. Donde tu Santa Claus? Tell me where is Santa Claus? This your Christmas day. Hey, Lionites! That's how you do it.